graduation show. My name is Nick Maritato. I am your host, and I also was the instructor for this class. So give me a nice little round of applause. Thank you. I cannot hear you, but I know it's happening, and that makes me feel good. If this is your first time seeing any sort of a kids in comedy show, let me explain what's going on here. Basically, the last couple of months, the kids that you're about to see came to us, and on Zoom once a week for about 2 hours, we kind of shared ideas that they came up with. And then the instructors, me and my assistant, my intern, we kind of gave them notes, and then we sent them back to sort of work on their material. And we did that for weeks and weeks and weeks till we crafted around 4 minutes of stand-up comedy that came straight from their heads. So it's a lot of work. It's been a lot of repetition, a lot of rehearsal, a lot of writing, but a lot of laughs, folks. And that's what you're about to enjoy today on a nice Saturday over here at the Kids in Comedy Grad Show. Kids in Comedy, if you've never seen one of these shows before, this program's been going on for about 20 years. Normally, on normal years, we work out of a comedy club in New York City. And we have classes every Saturday and Sunday. And then in the summer, we have a full summer camp, which is every day of the week. It's a lot of fun. But this year, we've been forced to go in our homes and see if we can perform and write comedy here. And we can. So all of 2020, we've been doing our shows here, streaming on YouTube, doing our classes on Zoom. And it's actually been a lot of fun, a different experience, but it's working. And you're about to see the new way that stand-up comedy is sort of working on the internet. And these kids have knocked it out of the park. So you're in luck. This is going to be a fun show. Before we get to them, I do want to give myself a little congratulations. It was my birthday yesterday. That is not a joke. That is right. I'm going to pause for an awkward amount of time so you can clap. Yeah, that's about it. It was weird because of the pandemic, but at least finally there was an excuse for why no one showed up to my party. So that's pretty good. I'm another year older, which is, it's a problem. Because like in 2020, that just doesn't seem fair. You know, like when quarantine is over, I want to be the same age I was when I went in. I think that would be fun. Wouldn't that be like a fun, nice gift? Like a constellation prize for 2020, like, hey, no one aged. Sure, when we get out of it, we're going to be 10 to 15 pounds fatter, imbued with a new creepy knowledge of the Discovery Channel's programming, but we didn't age. And we have a president who proofreads his tweets. So I do feel like that's a big win, okay? I've got a lot of happy thoughts about 2021. Folks, I think we should start our show. And, you know, we're going to start with a hilarious comedian. He's been with us for a couple of years now, and he's so funny. Give it up, everybody, for Brody Grossman. It's Brody Grossman, everybody. Clap it up in your homes. Clap it up. Keep it going for him.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Brody Grossman, and today I'm doing something that I never do on Zoom, and that is wear pants. Over quarantine, I've been doing a lot of hiking, usually in forests, and I didn't gain a lot from that. The only thing that happened because of that was I now question why forests are a thing. I mean, I guess they produce oxygen, but what else do they really do? The only thing that they actually contribute to society is a really eerie feeling that you're going to get murdered while you're inside a forest. And it's not just for the humans. The trees are thinking the exact same thing. They're the last plot of land that's a forest. And they're worried that they're going to be turned into a city. Humans have the audacity to be terrified when they see a man with an axe. When the trees know very well that that man with the axe is going right for them. Along with just having the hike in forest, another horrible thing is that they can send you to the hospital. You can trip on a stick, hit a tree, get hit by an axe murderer, but then you'll end up in the hospital. And everyone hates hospitals. I hate going to the hospital because for me, not having anything wrong with me is much worse than actually having something wrong with me. Because I don't want to waste my time, my parents' time, the doctor's time, the nurse's time. So I'm just thinking of I'm always thinking of a Goldilocks zone. So if I come in for smallpox, I'm like, yeah, I don't want smallpox, maybe just horrible acne that'll go away in 2 to 3 weeks. But the worst thing about hospitals is that the weird relatives that come in. For me, it's an uncle named Magic Mike. Uh, Magic Mike was great when I was 4 years old and he turned one quarter into 2 quarters. But then I started questioning his moral compass because it all happened one time we were playing Go Fish and he said he just was really good at it, but I could clearly see him concealing some extra cards under his palm. And I feel like cheating in Go Fish was just a gateway for him to it just set a path for a life of lies and trickery. When I first witnessed his first actual felony that he was not arrested for was when we went to get ice cream, and somehow with the help of a magic hat and a wand, he convinced the person that was running the cash register that he put his money into her purse, and he got away with it. He got ice cream, and I'm questioning the moral integrity of the entire magic industry from now on. But the worst thing about having a magician for an uncle is not everybody knows that he is your uncle. This first happened when he was performing at the biggest show of the year. Everyone came to it, and he chose me to volunteer, and he made me disappear. And when I came back on stage, everyone was clapping, and he gave me a big kiss on the forehead. I can now see in the eyes of the audience that's a little concerning. And the only person that he made actually disappear was 95% of the audience. Thank you very much. I have to be a witness in my uncle's court case. Also, I lied about the pants thing.
It got very serious at the end, folks. He's got to go to court. Okay? He stopped in just to do some stand-up real quick right before his uncle's court case. Happens to also have a bunch of material about it, which helps out. Give it up for Brody, everybody. He was kidding about the pants thing. Let's keep this show rolling. Keep the laughs flowing. You're going to love our next comedian, the very funny Ethan Pinillas, everybody. It's Ethan. Keep it going for Ethan.
Let me be clear. I'm anti-murder. That has nothing to do with my jokes. I just needed you all to know that. I hate the internet because it gives me weird notifications like, wait a minute, then try again. Okay, when do you think I'm going to try again? A few seconds ago? A little bit could be an hour from now, or it could be what you thought was 5 minutes, but was more like 10 seconds. Another thing I hate about the internet is cookies. You know when you click on a link and it says, this site allows cookies, please agree to continue? I will always agree with cookies. Nobody really knows what cookies are. We know they're delicious, but I'm not eating cookies that can be printed. And yet I've never gotten any cookies from these websites. I have been getting a lot of ads for shoes, though. Totally off topic. The other day, I was thinking about ghosts. And being a ghost is the worst afterlife. Imagine you're living alone in your house at the top of a hill during a storm, and some random family is like, we like that one. And now people are living in your house, completely ignoring that you exist. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, you'd be able to turn off the lights unexpectedly, like once, or make them hear footsteps, even though they just think it's their cat. And you'd be able to kill people and get away with it. Or at least that's what I was thinking while I was writing this joke. But it's the worst afterlife. It's just being a human with more rules. You can't play on your phone. You can't eat dessert or food. Being a ghost is just having really strict parents, even though you've been dead for 60 years. It's awful. You're constantly ignored. You have to live in an attic. You can watch people and yell at them for making obvious sitcom mistakes. It doesn't seem awful, just annoying. Maybe ghosts haunt us because they're jealous of us. No ghost liked their life. If ghosts liked their life, they'd say hi. You'd play cards and rip a deck and split them. You'd eat together. You'd watch movies together. You'd get to pick every other week. One week you'd pick Ferris Bueller, they'd pick Beetlejuice. You'd pick James Bond, they'd pick The Conjuring. You'd pick Ghostbusters, they'd pick Ghostbusters too. For you, Ghostbusters is a comedy. For them, it's a drama. Transition. The other day, there was a fly in my house. So I opened a window and I was thinking, it'll find its way out. It has 7 million eggs back at the nest and it's just trying to get food for its family. And then like 15 seconds later, I was like, I'm going to kill it. So I have a whole armory of weapons. Raid? No. Fly swatter? Too messy. Chopsticks? Seems impractical. And a box of magazines. And I picked the magazines. I had Brookstone, I had The Week, and National Geographic. And Brookstone? Nah, I want a list of things I'll never use. The Week? I want to read about the 2012 election in case I forgot my phone while I'm on the toilet. And National Geographic is left, because I want to kill the fly with what it would have been killed by in nature. So I'm trying to find a picture that works and it's just getting out of view and into the hardest spots to kill. And I found a perfect picture of a frog, because fly guts in a frog's face seems about right. After I'm done with this fly, then it will have the worst afterlife. Not to go political, but thank you and goodbye.
Give it up for Ethan, everybody. Staring at the screen. Caught that, Ethan. Very funny set, Ethan. I enjoy your use of the English language. I enjoy the fact that you just took us through the meticulous adventure that is killing a fly through comedy. Loving it. Loving it. I'll tell you what, you're going to love our next comedian. She's wonderful. She's hilarious. Give it up for Lorelai Crawford, everybody. It's Lorelai. Clap it up. Keep that energy rolling, folks.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lorelai, and my friends call me L, as in loser. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm what's called a sit-down comedian because I have what's called an invisible disability. An invisible disability is basically all the fun of living in constant pain and just all the cool things that come with a regular disability without the parking spot. And I'm going to say it here. Nobody's going to judge me for it. I would love to be a little bit closer to Walgreens so I can get my overpriced prescription and cat food. Honestly, I think like the extra couple of feet, they really owe it to me for years of doctors telling me, we don't know what's wrong with you and we don't really care. Honestly, basically, I live in a state of constant, never-ending pain, and I've been going to doctors for years. And not too long ago, they looked me in the eye and they told me, we don't know what's wrong with you. We don't care. Here's a bill for $500. Actually, they diagnosed me with unknown chronic pain. So they know that something's wrong. They don't know what is. So basically, people don't really believe me about that. And it's honestly, I think it's one of the greatest failures in medicine right now. Just because it has to do with me, I don't really care about anything else. If it doesn't have to do with me, that's just my philosophy on life. That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about. Speaking of failures, there's me. As much as I am quite arrogant and love talking about myself, I fail at just about everything I do. I've gotten so good at failure that it's become a talent, actually. And that confuses me more than being diagnosed with an unknown chronic pain. Honestly, I don't know how I'm so good at failing. I wrote a about 5-page long novella about a rat that starts his own religion just by making a bunch of children do his bidding. It was honestly done in about hour and a half. I just did it for the laughs. It remained number one on an online story reading site. I don't know if you've heard of it, Wattpad. It remained number one for 3 months. And when you think about it, there are so many better things than a rat starting his own religion that have been written in 3 months. You could honestly, you could probably write legacies and beautiful stories illustrating the struggles of man, but I chose to write a story about a rat, and now I have to live with it. Not only failing at being bad at writing, I also fail at creating meaningful bonds with the people around me. I mean, not to get dark or anything, but my friends are what I like to call part of the basement dweller community, and I may actually live in my mother's basement. If you can't tell by looking at my background, I don't have a ceiling. However, I am not nearly as much as a basement dweller as my friends are. They're the kind of people that you see like in the dark with like 3 bottles of Mountain Dew around them, like staring at their computer, writing things about how women aren't funny. And I mean, I'm not going to say they're wrong because I don't think I am very funny. I'm actually deeply insecure, and that's why I'm so arrogant. But that's not the point. They sit and they type on their little computers and they sit in the dark, and then they have the audacity to not know the difference between shrimp and a crawfish. And this is quite possibly one of the most horrible things that has ever come out of 2020. My best friend and I are in a fight because I called him a pee-pee poo-poo head. I know that it's incredibly wrong of me to say something like that. It's honestly probably one of the worst mistakes that I've made, even worse than my rat story. I called him a pee-pee poo-poo head because I showed him a picture of a shrimp I took at the aquarium, and I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit emotional, but I showed him a picture of the shrimp and he said, "That's a really nice crawfish." And I just told him, "That's a picture of a shrimp." And he looks at me and he looks at it and he's like, "That's a really nice crawfish." And that's when I said it. "You're a stupid pee-pee poo-poo head." He decided that he wanted to try and call my mother. And I know that we're 16 and 17 years old, but there are 2 things we've outgrown here. Not what you think. We've outgrown not knowing the difference between a shrimp and a crawfish, which I don't think is a real animal, but that's not the point. We've also outgrown the need for calling one another's mothers. It's honestly like, you don't have to talk to my mom. You could just talk to me. Like, if you have a problem, don't say it to my mom. She's gonna yell at me and then I'm gonna get grounded and then she's gonna take away my Xbox. Anyway, my prescription's ready, so I gotta go. Thank you all for coming.
Classic sign off. Classic. Listen, it's happened to the best of us. You know, most of my very close relationships ended by being called or calling someone a pee-pee and or poo-poo head. So, hey, and I'm only 19, you know. Guys, I look 19 years old, right? I think we can all agree, and I'm glad that you guys can't respond to me because I don't need you guys saying yes so loud that it hurts my ears. But I think we can all agree I pass for a 19-year-old. I mean, who else wears a backwards hat? Oh, I love Zoom. I'm the king. I can do what I want. I can't be judged. Folks, one more time for Lorelai, everybody. One more time on her way to get her prescripts. Folks, we have a couple more comedians left. The show has just begun, and it's going to continue to be fun. Your next comedian. So funny, so inventive, so off the wall. You better be strapped in to wherever you're watching this stream because you're going to need it. You're going to need the help. Give it up for Jack Shuella, everybody. It's Jack. Woo, woo, woo.
Well, it's great that you're 19. But anyway, hi, I'm Jack, and I'm not like other Jacks. I'm Big Boy Jack. So anyway, I have braces, and I recently got new rubber bands put in my mouth in a triangular shape. Does this look triangular to you? No. The answer is no. This is what's called an undefined geometrical enigma. How am I supposed to eat through this? It's like eating through a screen door, but, you know, without the little square holes in it. but it's not like, orthodontists that gave me this just said, put this in your mouth. No, they had to put extra metal in my mouth because yes, my mouth needs that right now. You know how that happens? It's just an random old guy who apparently knows stuff about teeth putting his shaky hands in your mouth. That's just a normal Tuesday for me. Only another reason why having braces is so depressing. I mean, do you actually think that when people with braces are smiling, it's because they're happy? No, you silly goose. The wires and metal are pushing on their skin and flesh to make it look like that. But when I actually try to smile, I look like a 5-year-old cringing for some reason. There's just so much metal in my mouth. I can't go hiking because if I do, the compass that I'm using will start to point in every direction because of the metallic stuff that is in my mouth. I feel like I have one of those head braces in my mouth. There's just so much of metal in my mouth. I'm turning into a machine. My mom came up to me yesterday and said, "Hey, can you sharpen a pencil?" And, after about an hour and a half of gnawing down on it, I got this. And frankly, I'm proud of it. But really, I've had so much metal put in my mouth that I feel like I've been chosen by the orthodontists of America to be the first medical cyborg. This one is for calls and text. This one is for 5G. This one is for Morse code. But this one I do not like because I want to get it replaced, but I don't have cyber insurance. Anyway, not speaking of computers, mine has a virus, the Danny virus to be exact, as in whenever I do anything, it's Danny DeVito. If I type like a letter into Google, it's a picture of Danny DeVito. The letters aren't letters, they're just pictures of Danny DeVito. And like if I were to type in the space bar and then put enter into Google, it would just, search up everything about Danny DeVito, including his incredible show, Taxi. And honestly, it's baloney. That's for all you boomers on the phone. But honestly, for the past month or about 7, I've lost track. I've learned a lot about Danny DeVito, like his show Taxi, like I just mentioned. If I try to do almost anything, open a game, or animate something, or live my life on my computer, anything like that, it usually just reads, Papa DeVito restricts this, like right now. Every YouTube video is Danny DeVito in various shows and movies, and I just, I can't get enough of them, literally. I can't close my computer, it won't close. But, I called tech support, and they didn't know what to do. They thought it was like the devil or something. They just kind of offered me a free new $900 computer, But I never thought I'd say this, but I like this virus. So I turned it down. I could have accepted it and just sold it on eBay or something, and no one would buy it, obviously. But I turned it down because I'm big boy Jack. And I'm not saying all this stuff because my computer said to me in the Lord's voice, aka Danny DeVito's voice, that it will explode if I don't listen to it. No. But the only way to get rid of the virus is to relieve it from me and give it to someone else. Smirk menacing. You know what else I figured out about myself during this pandemic? Like that I unconsciously collect water bottles. Yeah, you know how some people there's this way of saying some people have skeletons in their closet. Yeah, I have about $900 900 water bottles on my desk right now. I guess I just like surrounding myself in pure trash. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I tried to make a shot into the garbage can once. I don't really remember because it was a year ago. But I did that and I missed, and I never tried again. And so I basically live in a college dorm right now, but not like with my friends. That'd be too great. No, like my room is a trash can, and I'm completely aware of that. It's my fault, and I've done nothing about it. I bet you $1 million right now or whenever that if you stuck your head in a trash can, it will look, feel, and smell exactly like a college dorm. Don't do it. You'll get a sickness, and I'll be stuck in a lawsuit yet again. But seriously, when this is all over, I'm going on a vacation. Not with my mom or my family or some corny stuff like that. No, with my 900 and something water bottles to Poland Springs to have a nice family reunion with all the other water. I don't know if the water bottles are alive or it's the water. They just look like that because there's so many of them. Anyway, thanks for listening to a 13-year-old big boy Jack talk about metal, mouth metal, Danny DeVito, and scary trash.
Wow, Big Boy Jack, everybody. The world has gained a new superstar by the name of Big Boy Jack. That's what separates him from other Jacks, don't you know? He's a big boy. A lot of talk I'm revealing a little behind the curtain, but a lot of talk about our intros and outros before we started today's show. And Jack, well, he's Big Boy Jack. He decided that right before the show. And please try not to refer to him other than. It would make us feel good. One more time for Jack. Big Boy Jack. Excuse me. I already broke my own rule. Folks, the hits, well, they do just keep on coming because we have another fantastic young comedian for you. He's so funny. He's so hilarious. And his name is Trent Ford. Give it up for Trent. Trent Ford. Keep it going in your homes. Trent.
Hi, my name is Trent, and as you can see, Zoom works up here in space. Last year, online school was like being in pre-K instead of 8th grade. Because last year we had next to no work, all we would do is play games, and we had nap time. However, this year, online school is like being in kindergarten instead of 9th grade. Because now we have work, we don't play games, and we don't have nap time. It's like kindergarten instead of 9th grade, because in all my classes, we are doing kindergarten work instead of 9th grade work. In math, instead of learning about geometry, we're learning about counting. In science, instead of learning about chemistry, we're learning about the color blue. During lunch, instead of having a regular glass of orange juice, we get our orange juice in a sippy cup. Now, even though I'm a big boy who can drink out of a regular cup, I like the sippy cups. Now, I love my OJ in a sippy cup. I hate targeted advertising. I hate it because I only get ads for like 21-year-olds. The ads I get are microwave meal ads, exercise equipment ads, dating app ads, time management app ads, and 5 million gosh darn Mountain Dew ads. Now, I don't know what this says about me, but whatever it says about me, I hate it. I hate it because I don't need any of those things. I don't need microwave meals because I have some. I don't need exercise equipment because I have some. I don't need dating app ads because I have some. I don't need time management apps because I have some. I don't need Mountain Dew because Mountain Dew tastes like Slimer from Ghostbusters. Now, why am I getting these ads? Who does my computer think I am? I mean, you go to the official D&D website once, and you get flooded with these dating app ads. You schedule so many D&D sessions on Google Calendar, you get flooded with these time management apps. You search up D&D, good snacks on Google, and you get more exercise equipment ads than if you searched up how did The Rock get so ripped on Google. What can I say? I love me some D&D. I believe that babysitting a toddler is easier than babysitting a dog because toddlers are so easy to deal with. You just got to give them your phone, some M&Ms, and a diaper, and boom, you don't hear from them for hours. However, with the dog, you can't do that. You have to pay attention to them. You can't just give them your phone because they'll try and eat it. You can't give them M&Ms because dogs can't eat chocolate. You can't give them a diaper because putting a diaper on a dog is hard. Now, I know what all you dog people are thinking. I don't want to leave him alone with my dog. He'll try and put a diaper on it. And I will, which is why I don't dog sit. I babysit. I have a dog, and she always comes to me and starts licking me when she wants food. It doesn't matter if I'm at class, if I'm playing video games, or if I'm sleeping, she always comes and licks me for food. Whenever we buy dog food, all the packaging has pictures of wolves on it, which is a bit worrying for me. Is there wolves in the food? And if there is wolves in the food and we give it to the dogs, is that dog cannibalism? Can dogs get arrested for cannibalism? I would think that having wolves on the packaging would also be weird for the dog. Do dogs looking at wolves make them think of their ancestors? Do dogs know what their ancestors look like? If dogs do know what their ancestors look like, would they recognize them? Do you think wolves brag about how they're on the cover of dog food? I would. I would go up to all my wolf friends and say, who has four paws and is on the package of dog food? This wolf. Thank you, everyone, but I'm late for a babysitting gig. Good night.
All right. One more time for Trent. Trent Ford, everybody, on his way to a babysitting gig. His DMs are open if you need your dog diapered. Hit him up. Side business. Everybody needs a side hustle in 2020, folks. Okay. All right. If there was ever a need for somebody to start a diapering a dog company, it's in 2020 with this economy. All right. We need the stimulus, folks. A couple more comedians coming up. Your next comedian is a national treasure. She is hilarious. Give it up for the Valerie Kim. It's Valerie, everybody. Keep it going for Valerie.
Hi everyone, my name's Valerie, and yesterday I felt like crap, and today I feel like crap as well. And if you couldn't tell from what I just said, that's because I've been feeling quite down lately. I don't want to get out of bed. I just want to eat a tub full of ice cream and watch Netflix all day. And I've been told that everyone goes through something like this at least once in their life. I went through a very, very bad breakup with my Tapatio hot sauce. And let me tell you, heartbreak hurts. I mean, just look at the guy on the bottle, his blue eyes and that cute mustache, not to mention the sombrero that he just never takes off. It's really unresistible. And for those of you who don't know the 5 stages of grief, they are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial. I'm in denial this happened at all. I wake up in the morning, I go to the fridge, I open it, and I'm expecting Tapatio to be waiting for me, but no, it's Frank's. And then I have anger. Where is my hot sauce? Bargaining. I'm constantly thinking to myself, if I hadn't shared him with everyone else, he probably wouldn't have left me so easily. Depression. Upset, I'm eating my eggs plain. I've tried Tabasco, Sriracha, Frank's, and I'm telling you, it's just not the same. Acceptance. I haven't really had time to accept because my dad bought me 2 more bottles this week, and that got me thinking, hey, maybe I'll try 2 boyfriends this time. It's going to be double the spice. I have the most coveted job of any American teenager. That's right. I work at the glorious McDonald's drive-thru, which means I like to spend my Friday afternoons helping other people kick off their weekends. And we all know McDonald's is the symbol of America. You take that bald eagle and replace it with the golden arches, and there's basically no difference. But I'm telling you, at those drive-thrus, there are some weird people. For some reason, people like to pay in all cash all the time. The senior citizens and the teenage boys. And then there's the ones who pay in their matte black credit cards that are too heavy to handle. Like the rich business executives who pull up in their Teslas, nostalgic about the days when they were forced to live in some stranger's basement, and again, the teenage boys. Those teenage boys show up in both categories because they're either super poor or they're super poor with their parents' credit cards. And then there's the people who are too busy when you're taking their orders and confirming their orders, but boy, oh boy, aren't they attentive when they actually get their orders. I'm sorry, but did your child suddenly stop crying within a matter of seconds? And that business call, wow, that ended in perfect timing. And for God's sake, we do not sell Whoppers. I know quarantine's been really hard on a lot of people, especially me and my eyes, because my brother's decided to grow out his hair, and contrary to his belief, it looks terrible. He looks like he's traveled back in time to become the 6th member of NSYNC or even a macaroni penguin. I wouldn't even be surprised if he woke up one day and birds decided to lay eggs on his head. And that's not even the worst part. He started to shed. That's right. I wake up and I go to the bathroom and there's this ever-growing pile of hair on the counter. And so I've decided that I'm going to start a petition for it to be written in law for any dude to grow out their hair. They need to be properly educated on how to take care of their weave. Number one, if you're starting to shed, I know you're grieving and you're in denial that you're balding, but just pick up the pieces and drop them in the trash. It's not that hard. Number two, shower and please shampoo your hair every day. There's this thing called oil that starts to build up, and I'm telling you right now, that can't be used instead of gel to shine up your hair. And three, just cut that off. Like there's no other solution. Thank you so much, and I have a date with my two Tapatios.
Woo! Keep it going for Valerie. Fantastic. Being in a romantic relationship with a condiment is very close to my heart. There was a sriracha mayo in high school that really caught my eye. One more time for Valerie, everybody. Okay, I kind of understand the idea. Valerie's brother growing out his hair. I've got a hair thing going on right now. Unfortunately, I can't get it cut because I'm afraid of physical connection. Don't want anybody to come ever near me ever again. But hey, I have amazing hair now, and we'll see how long it can go. We have one more comedian before our little special guest comedian. Okay, one more student to perform for you folks. He's been with us for a while. He is a hilarious gentleman, and I do mean gentleman. He's got manners, folks, but those manners are hilarious. Give it up for Sam. Sam Snotty, everybody. It's Sam, everybody. Give it up for Sam. Keep it going for Sam.
Hey everyone, I'm Sam Snotty. None of my jokes will be as funny as my last name, but I'll try my best. So I've met a lot of my mom's friends over the years, and every time I meet one of them, they always ask me the same thing. Wow, you're so tall. Do you play basketball? Now, if you've never watched a basketball game before, basically they just throw one up, and then whoever's the tallest wins the game. No, I do like basketball, but I've never been great at it. I started when I was like 8 years old. You know how 8-year-olds playing basketball are? They're pretty scary. I mean, they kind of just shoot the ball like a second after they get it, and if you don't let them do that, then they're not gonna like it. So yeah, basketball wasn't for me. So I tried lacrosse, and that was even worse. First of all, I mean, what is this? Look at this. I'm a twig. But also, if you play, you're like definitely the type of person to say, I'm not racist, but so yeah, didn't stick. But track I actually kind of enjoy because most of the kids doing track, they're like actual athletes, but then some of them are like me, and they're also twigs, and they're trying to become trunks. And also track as a solo sport, so the only person I have to disappoint is myself. I think I've just never been great at sports because I kind of hated them until I was like 8. I was just all around really weird until I was 8, and that's not great because I've been going to the same school since kindergarten. So most of the people here have known me for 11 years. So, like I'm talking with someone and they're just like, hey, you remember the time back in 3rd grade when you stuffed an entire slice of cake in your mouth and then you immediately puked it out to prove you were cool? Yeah, so I guess I didn't prove I was cool. So I've heard a lot of people tell me, I just can't stand the New York City subway. And I'm inclined to agree. I mean, don't let the slogan fool you. I've eaten there so many times, I don't think I've ever once actually eaten fresh. And they tell me that they're talking about the subway system like the MTA. I just don't get it. I mean, how else are you going to get around the city? You're taking an Uber, you realize you don't have to stop at a red light every 30 seconds, right? And taxis are just Ubers, but worse. They're an unflattering shade of yellow, and they smell like something else that's an unflattering shade of yellow. And buses are the safe choice. Buses get a nice smooth ride. Subways are all or nothing. Either get a nice, clean 15-minute ride, or you spend 2 hours stuck at a station with grade 2 inches from your face, you really bumped so. I have a top 2 of favorite subway memories ever. Number 2, some dude came on, he came up to me and he asked me, who's your favorite YouTuber? And I'm going home from school, I want to talk to this guy, so I just say someone super popular. Thing like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast, they have like millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of subscribers. Yeah, and the dude says, interesting. I've never heard of them before. And then he just gets off at the next stop. I'm like 99% sure he was an alien and it was his first day on Earth. And number 1, a couple guys came on. They started doing one of those subway dances, with the poles where they like spin around and stuff. And then they said, we're just here to brighten up everyone's day. And I was like, wow, that's so sweet. And then they kicked some guy in the eye. And hey, that did brighten up my day. Thank you, everyone. I hope I brightened up your days, and good night.
Sam, everybody. Sam Snotty, of course you brightened up our days. All right. You talked about somebody getting assaulted on the subway. Okay. It made us all laugh. You helped us this weekend. I appreciate that so much, Sam. One more time for Sam, everybody. Sam was our last student of the day, but we do have one bonus Easter egg, a treat for you folks. It is not just me who helps these kids form their sets and guides them through their comedy journey. We have our wonderful Emma Gonzalez, who is our assistant, but we also, the cherry on top of the faculty we have here on the Zoom class of Kids in Comedy, is our intern, our teen intern, Sam Littman. And he's about to perform for you right now. He's helped you, your kids, and these kids all through their comedy journeys. So let's pay him back by listening to his funny jokes. Give it up for Sam Littman, everybody.
Hi guys, I'm teen intern Sam. I'm 17 and I don't have social media. I know you're thinking, ew, what a freak, but I just never got into it. Now, my lack of social media has caused me some problems, like I got passed up for a promotion in Latin Club because I couldn't run an effective social media campaign. I mean, I tried to get recruits for the club, but apparently following people home, figuring out all their interests, and creating personalized flyers isn't what people mean when they say targeted advertising. Might not be fair to say that I have no social media. Anyone here follow me on Goodreads? Goodreads is basically the only social media site I have. And I really love using it to leave mean reviews on books I didn't like. But don't worry, all those authors have been dead for like 100 years, so it's a victimless crime, just like piracy. Actually, okay, I know I'm kind of eroding the no social media thing, but I do have an email, and that kind of counts, right? And unfortunately, my mom discovered my Gmail account name a little bit ago. That was when I learned that making your email account the relationship name or the ship name, like Brangelina for Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, or Hagen for the formerly royal couple, you're not supposed to make it the ship name of you and your dog. I'd prefer not to say it, but I think I have to. It's Smurfala. Please don't judge me. I made that account when I was young and dumb and 16 and yeah. Anyway, I've been meaning to do a sport for a while now, work off these love handles, and I chose to do track. But it wasn't at all what I was expecting. Like, we did exercises and stretches and whatever, but when we actually ran, we just ran around in a big circle called a track. Like, we never once ran down to the donut shop or jogged to a pizzeria. Seriously, what's the point of running if there's no light at the end of the tunnel? No frosting at the end of the cannoli? We might as well just jog in place. Anyway, I needed to take my complaints to the manager. I mean, coach. I came into his office during lunch and I said, listen, sweetie, I'm sure it's not your fault that the track program is so awful and pointless, but I do have some suggestions for improving it. We could relay race to the bakery, pole vault to the deli, but let me tell you, he did not take constructive criticism well. So I quit. He did seem to take that pretty well, though. So you guys already know that I don't play sports, but you probably know all those sports ballers who's always claiming that their favorite sports ball game is rigged. They're all wrong. There's only one game that is truly rigged: the Sexiest Man Alive contest. Think about it. Adam Levine and Mel Gibson both won, and sure, Adam's fine looking and Mel's a racist old creep, but he is alive, so you gotta give him that. But Sexiest Man Alive? I think not. The real giveaway is that Blake Shelton won. Blake Shelton. He looks like the human version of a saltine cracker dipped in water. His facial hair looks like something a stray cat coughs up after it eats too much garbage. If Blake was alone in a room, he wouldn't even be the sexiest man alive in that room. Listen, I'm sure some people find Blake attractive, but I am not one of them. And one day, People magazine will fall. And who will rise from the ashes like an avenging phoenix? I will. Because I will create my own magazine with its own Sexiest Man Alive contest. My magazine will be called Person Magazine. And the only man featured as its Sexiest Man Alive will be the one who has been robbed of his crown year after year, ignored while other, lesser specimens of mouth-watering male beauty took his rightful place. The only man featured in my magazine will be the true Sexiest Man Alive, now and forever. Patton Oswalt. Yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. Give it up for Sam Littman, everybody, our intern for the program. Fantastic set. Nonetheless, hilarious, man. One more time for Sam. And please, why don't you put your hands together for all of the comics that you saw here today? Yeah, do it. Even though they can't hear you, they can feel you, okay? We're all connected somehow in this crazy mixed up universe. So clap. I want to say thank you for being here and watching this show. My name is Nick Maritato. I'm usually the person who hosts these Saturday grad shows. So if you go and check the Kids in Comedy YouTube, there might be some clips up there that you could see. Also check out kidsincomedy.com. If you have a crazy kid that's interested in signing up for our programs, we have a winter session coming up, and then we will have a spring session after that. And we keep on plugging away here at Kids in Comedy. And I want to say thank you to Emma Jane Gonzalez, my assistant. She was here the entire session. She's a hilarious individual. She helped all of these kids write their material as well as me and Sam, who you just saw. So thank you so much, Emma. And I want to say thank you to Stu and Joanne. They are the directors of the Kids in Comedy program. We would not be able to do any of this if it wasn't for them. So I do want to say thank you, Joanne and Stu. I want to say thank you to Matt, our technical director. He is the reason we're able to stream online and it be so flawless and fun and good for our soul. So thank you, Matt. And thank you to you folks and the kids who you saw here perform. So clap it up one more time. Folks, that has been the show. We'll see you next time. Now we will all wave until we leave your screens, which is my favorite part. Just waving. I'm in my home right now, just waving to nobody, to a machine.